Hi and welcome. I'm Jules Muller, founder and CEO of Chicks Connect, and we want to welcome all of you that are on with us live at our Chicks Connect online social media summit, and those of you that are watching this as a recording. Right now, we'd like to welcome Ann Severs from Las Vegas. So Ann, tell us a little bit about you, your background, and how you got involved with social media.
Well, I have kind of a unique story. I don't go too deep dive on public, but I will share that on another story. But I became an entrepreneur about 5.5 years ago. I went to college. I didn't get my bachelor's degree till I was 38 years old. So then I got my master's at 40 when I was 40, taught in a traditional classroom for 3 years, and then moved back to Las Vegas and had to figure out what I was going to do because teaching at a traditional classroom was not going to work for my family. It wasn't something that I loved either. So I've learned, what I've decided to do is because I want to learn all the time. So what I thought I would do is teach what I know to entrepreneurs. And then I got connected with Chicks. And then that just really opened up what I really need to do and what I'm meant to do. And lately it's even coming even bigger. That's why I've been having a lot of butterflies lately. They're good butterflies because I'm getting ready to launch a media company, which I'm super excited. My partner is 15 years UNLV professor who's going to be my partner. So we're getting ready to launch probably in the next 2 weeks. So that's going to be just the icing on the cake to moving forward for everything else that's aligning very nicely.
Great, great. Well, tell us a little bit as you meet these entrepreneurs over the last multiple years that you have been an entrepreneur. You are a master networker. I know that about you. What are some of the challenges that you find that people encounter? And well, tell us about the challenges first, and then we'll have you talk about some solutions that you offer.
Yeah, well, the biggest challenge, there's two that I see very commonly. One is they do not know their market, and that's a big problem. It's not everyone. It is like when you drill it down again, and then drill it down again, and then drill it down again, because it's got to be very niched, and you have to figure out your way on that. Well, actually, three things. Brand yourself, not your company. And the third thing, more than this is why I came up with this program after a great mastermind session with one of my friends and I, was what people want, what they should or should not post on social media. So that's how we come up with the core values platform. And as I use it in my own business, it just kind of takes all the questioning out of the equation when it comes to posting, what to post, when to post, things like that, on what page and so on. So that's why we decided it all goes back to your core values. No matter what, everything you do goes back to your core values. And if you know what your core values are, it takes all the guesswork out of all the other stuff, what to say, what to post, things like that. So that's why I always am preaching the core values, because it takes the guesswork out of everything.
Well, tell us a little bit about how you work with entrepreneurs or business folks in identifying their core values. How do you solve those solutions for people?
Well, we drill down pretty deep for the most part. I don't do a lot of consulting, but I do some consulting. And I literally get out crayons and markers and pencils, and I tell them to sit down and think about what your core values are. So if you know what your core values are and you go to post an article, say about dogs, okay? And if that aligns with your core values, then absolutely you should post the article about dogs. If it doesn't align with your core values, then don't post it. I practice this often because several of us entrepreneurs have more than one business page. I have about 6. So what I do is I do a core value sheet, and all I do is you can just take a piece of paper and put blocks on it. You could probably find one online. I used to have a bunch of templates that were awesome, but I don't know where they're not so free anymore. So, and I just literally have them write them down on the piece of paper, color them in. And I used to do this with my students. We called it a coat of arms. And I could kick myself because I never really went deeper dive. And I wish I would have with the kiddos, because I think they would have really got a lot out of it. It would have been something they could use the rest of their lives. So I have the 6 business pages, and one of them is very family oriented. It's through a mutual company that you and I have, and I believe in it very highly. So anything that goes on that business page for family is family oriented. Stories about somebody writing letters, somebody about people receiving mail, things like that. Good things, things like that go on that page. Then I have another page that focuses on pet health. So everything on that page focuses on pet health. Maybe a little bit of human. I mean, you're going to put a little human element in there, but I know what my core values are for the pet company. I know what they are for my own personal page, because you should do one for every single one of them. Chicks Connect has different core values to a certain degree than Jules Mueller, right? They just tweak. I mean, they all align up. Don't get me wrong. They all align, but there is a point where they are a little bit separate sometimes when it comes to content, because content's another big one of what people do. That is a struggle with them. So may I share my screen, and I will show you
please.
a few exercises that I had out. Hold on, I'm gonna move you guys around. Hold on, I gotta grab it and move you. Okay, so this is, I just did a basic PowerPoint. I'm more than welcome to share this. I just put this together, and this will give you a good overview of kind of how to, whoops, I think I went one too many. No. So identify your core values. So you want to list, and I would list all of this out, because again, it's diving deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay. And now a lot of us are older-ish, I'm going to say. So we need to think about what our qualities are. And maybe if you don't know what your qualities are, because I'm like, when you asked me to write my biography, I got a really hard time writing my own biography. I think it's almost, you should have a business bestie where they write your biography for you, because you will never give yourself the credit that you are worth or due. So what are your weaknesses? What am I doing to my network to build alliances, which is really important. I did a really good class last week, and she talked about this. Build your alliances. If they do not align with you, your core values, then they're not your alliance. I met a younger lady, and I do a lot of interviews, and she asked me about my interview process. And I said, well, I handpick every interview I do. And I do that because they have to align with my core values to a certain degree. I don't want to have this long debate or anything about what that means, but she doesn't know what core values are, because she was like, well, I believe in everybody's opinion, but those aren't core values. Those are just differences of opinion. You probably have the same deep down core values, and that's where I kind of like try to align myself with others. So what do you enjoy to do most? And how can you shape your career goals around what you enjoy? I've been thinking about that more and more, because I just traveled, and it's like, I want to do a lot more of that. So how do I do that? By having good, solid social media, being consistent, giving good content. What is one accomplishment I just make in my life? What is one I need to make in my life? Excuse me. How could I correct or compensate for my weaknesses to ensure completing my long-term goals? That is a whopper. That's a whopper of a question that really got me thinking. Like, are we spending too much time? If you go back to your core values, and one of your core values is consistency, well, then you need to go in there and tweak a little bit and make sure that really is your core value. It might not be your core value. You got to really dive in there and figure out what it is. And as far as your weaknesses go, that's where I would align with someone maybe that's got similar core values, so they can kind of guide you along the way, and vice versa. So you are defining your own destiny. Your destiny will be determined by your daily choices and long-term goal set. Once you identify the one accomplishment you want to make, start making a life plan that will get you there. Julie, you are great at this when it comes to mapping and figuring out where the pieces go. And it all goes back to your core values. What is your accomplishment? And your core values can change over time because you may have a different set at the very beginning of your business, but as you go on, you see, you know what? This is what I really need. I need right here. I need this core value to get me to the next level.
But you know, Anne, what I also find is sometimes things change in a business that are beyond your control. Like you didn't cause the change,
Right.
but maybe the environment has caused the change. And so you have to reassess, which is something I'm kind of in right now. It's like this transition period, and it's really interesting. And it has me looking at a lot of things that I used to be able to do consistently. And now I need to tweak because past behaviors are not working the way they used to, so it's very interesting, what you're talking about. So always visiting your core values, like you're saying. And then I really like that piece on the last one where you said finding a partner that aligns with you, but maybe has the strength that in the area where you have a weakness, and can match together. So those are great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. At the beginning, your transparency, or excuse me, one of your core values may be control, which is a big one. It's a big one. But I would say 10 years ago, I was about control. But man, does it feel good once you release that off your back and go, I don't have to control everything. There is someone better at it than I am. And focus on what you are good at, and don't focus on your weakness, focus on your strength. Find your business partner, find a partner. They called it a business bestie in this class last week. And I was like, it's a good idea. So what will my life look like when I arrived at my destination? Your life will probably change. Your confidence will grow. There's so many things that will grow. Who can assist me with my journey? My core value partner, business partner, whatever you want to call it. But most of us have kind of the same core, but I want you to dig deep, deep, deep. Like don't pick out 20, pick out 5. When you get to 10, go to 6 and narrow it down really to that 5 and just stay on those 5. When it comes to content posting, your conversations, what you have with people, if you are having a conversation with someone and it's going in another direction that doesn't align with your core values, you have to figure out a way to redirect for your own sake. What kind of people will I spend time with when I arrived? That's a really good question. As entrepreneurs, I'm pretty sure that many of you have had the same experience where it's time to start cutting out those certain people and just start doing what you need to do. And so, because who know who you'll meet when you arrive on the last bullet here, right? Once you arrive there, who will you meet? They always say you end up being like the top 5 people you hang around with. So I've been looking at my circle a little bit lately because I want to be successful and it's time. Well, I am going to be successful. That I know. So when you have solid core values, they govern our decision making. As a result, we are able to align our values and actions in times of crisis and change, which is so true. We're going through a lot of change right now. So if one of your core values is maybe, let me think of a good one, restraint, say. Don't restraint, if that's your core value, then be careful when you go into a situation where maybe you might became unrestrained. Those core values will help you. So what are my moral absolutes? What are your do's and don'ts? I know right off the bat, my biggest core value, I would say, one of my biggest ones, 2, transparency and integrity. Those are my 2. Integrity will be in every single, probably, core value sheet I do. How do I define right from wrong? And how would I define ethics as it relates to work? what values will help me build strong relationships. So again, you want to find those people that core values align with you. Because if their core value doesn't align with you, or some of their core values, it's not going to be a strong relationship. It'll be a weak relationship at the end of the day. So I think I just have one more slide. Oh, no. So how do I stop share?
It should be down. Oh, let's see, where is it?
This is when I get stuck. Oh, I see it.
Okay.
Okay, can you still see my screen?
I see you.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So, when it comes to core values, it's just something I've always practiced throughout my business. And it's, at first, I know it sounds kind of cheesy, I guess you can say, but it's funny because my husband helps me do a lot of the social media postings on my pages. And because he knows the core values, there's never a discussion over should not post this or share this, and don't share everybody's stuff. And I'm a big believer in, this all goes back to my core values as being a teacher. I will not share somebody's video or article until I watched the video or read the article. That's one of my core values. Be careful doing that. I've gotten in trouble for that before when I first started out being an entrepreneur, posting something and I didn't watch it or read it. So I've never done that again since.
Well, and I find sometimes that people will post a title that sounds good, but when you read the meat of the article, it may not correspond with what the title was. So if you're sharing a post or something just based on the title, like you said, you might find yourself in a predicament once somebody gets into the meat of that video or article. Because it doesn't align, their title does not align with the content that's in the, it's called clickbait. They're trying to get you to click on the title.
Yes. I hear my 11-year-old all the time complaining about clickbait, and I didn't know what it was. And then I know what it is now, obviously, but I agree. And that's where transparency comes in. Right. So if you're going to you have to be transparent, because you can't, if you're not transparent, how can your audience trust you or your niche or whatever you're trying to do with your market? Mm-hmm. It's important.
So what products and services do you offer your clients as far as helping them with some of these challenges and to identify their core values? What is it that you offer?
Well, I could, I could show a worksheet. When I consult with this, I'm kind of steering away from teaching the core value class per se, because my focus right now is to, build my own social media, which I've been working really hard doing that. And I'm all about streamlining too. That's like mainly where I'm at right now in the business. But my main business right now is really doing the video and editing. And I couldn't do the video or the editing if I didn't know what my core values were.
So tell us a little bit more about that. Tell us who would come to you for video and editing? I mean, what videos are you making?
We are making, I prefer interview style videos. I do, I'm getting ready to build, we're doing my office here, and I'm getting ready to do like a whole stream of 2-minute videos. But I like the interview style videos, so we're going to do a few of those. And these videos would be for like that person that really wants to put out who they are by doing a commercial. I suggest 1 to 2 minutes commercial, so they can have a constant video running whenever they wanted to post it. They will have full rights to all the video. I could do interview style, or I could do, depends on what the goal is for the video. I mean, we probably have to map it out for someone what their goal is. I mean, really, you got to have a goal. Somebody said to me, well, that's okay if the ROI is good. I'm like, well, it's not about the ROI. It's about branding yourself. A lot of us are out there just waffling, and it's really time with the information and all the amazing education we get from chicks, like sometimes dive deep in that stuff, because that's really the next step to get you going to the, to really polish. So it's time to polish your act.
And then get it recorded. And so with you and your partner, you'll do video recordings that people could use for their social media platforms.
Yes.
So they could use it. They can use it for maybe an intro reel if they're speakers. Will you be doing intro reels?
I don't know if we're going to do intro reels. That's something that may be something they might have to do on the outside. Him and I are discussing that now. That's not his forte. And I don't think he loves to do that. I think he likes to do the meat of the video. But yeah, the videos, it's a way, like if you're doing an event, like we're going to do one for our event when we do ours. Mm-hmm. So my goal with that is to have the photographer come in or their video recorder come in, snapshots of what's going on in the room, take some of the old videos or old photos we have, and we can make a great, power hour commercial to launch out with the announcement that you have. So that's kind of what it would be for, like if you're introducing a new product. For those in the MLM market, I mean, a good option for you would be, you don't want to brand your MLM. They have spent millions of dollars branding themselves. They don't need you to brand them. You brand you. Nobody is going to, people are going to buy from you at the end of the day. It happens to me all the time with just being solid and sticking to what business I'm in. I just recruited somebody the other day in a business I haven't worked in 2 years, but she knows that I'm solid and I'm in there and I do, the work. So, but for those that are in an MLM, maybe that is more product based, be a product of the product and just share your story. Maybe something changed your life by using that product, and say it. And when you talk about it, go back to your core values, and then it'll make the videos a lot easier and the content a lot easier, and writing. You know how when you write, sometimes you go to write a post and it just does not feel good. And you're like, it's because it doesn't align with your core values. So if you know what they are and they're strong, when you go to post or write, it takes 50% of the work off of you, in all honesty, because it comes so easily.
Now we put some of our core values for Chicks Connect on our bookmark, and post those. So do you recommend, I mean, and I don't know why I did that. I just put them there. It's kind of like a mission or vision and values, right? But do you recommend that all businesses post their core values or share them, so that, like, if you're creating, we were encouraged to create a Facebook group from the last speaker. Would you encourage people to list their core values in the Facebook group as some of the content, so people know what they're getting into? What are your thoughts?
I absolutely think that's a great suggestion to do that. I think we should all be transparent. We don't want to be, there's enough fakeness out there right now. So the ones that are going to set themselves from the rest are the ones that are being true. And it's just like clickbait, right? You invite somebody in a group because you're going to do marketing, say you're going to give marketing tips, but then it turns around and being about your MLM. Well, I would be irritated too over that. You be transparent. Whatever you say the group is going to be about, same thing with the video. If you're going to say what the video is about, make sure it's about that video.
Right. Great.
And the core values for chicks, I love reading that bookmarker. Every time I read that, I can almost tear up reading that, because it's really, and take your core values and maybe write a mission statement for your business. I haven't done that yet. That's one thing I do want to do, is write a mission statement, because they should be in there in a way. Mm-hmm. That's why I love this one certain MLM that I'm a part of, because they have never strayed away from their core values, not one time. And I'm like, that's a solid company right there. When they don't stray from their core values, you have a good company.
Tell us what that company is.
It's doTERRA.
Great.
They've changed my life. The oils have changed my life, and they've only been open 12 years this year. They're over $1 billion company, and they are completely debt free. And I support like 38 charities, something up there right now. And what I love about it more than anything, besides the amazing products, is they've never strayed from their core values. They've always stuck to their original mission and never strayed. And they're very transparent too, I think.
And those are the two high ones that you mentioned earlier. That's right.
Yeah.
Are you willing to share the rest of yours with us so we have an idea of what your core values are?
My core values are integrity, transparency, trust, but that kind of goes in integrity. I'm actually redoing them right now because when I first started out, they were, I forget what they were. But I have to dig out I have a folder that I drew it all out and colored it all in. But consistency, integrity is probably my biggest one. That's where I go. Family, but each one is different. You know, I mean, each business is different. Like in my marketing group, accountability may be more of the core value for that, you know, or even the chicks group a little bit. That's accountabilities should be in there a little bit, I think, because that's what we're here for, right? Some of us, we need it a little bit more than others. So, and loyalty. I think loyalty is my other big one. So those are mine for me personally, but each business has its own, you know? So it's relationships. That's another good one. You know, like that's in my other business, that relationships, well, the relationships should be all in our core values right now because of what we're doing. We're entrepreneurs, right?
So talk to me about a few of the resources that you provide people. I know you have a toolkit of some marketing resources, as well as you're adding video to that now. So talk to us a little bit about those resources and how people might find those.
So again, I'm all about the, go back to my core values. Follow up is key to any one of our business. So what I've learned in 2019, you know, being a school teacher and just trying to get more and more organized, it's like, what do you do with the contacts and how are you doing this content? So another two businesses I do are just about streamlining. I have a digital mobile business card. It's called Shuffle, and it is it's a $9.99 full CRM digital business card that it schedules all my follow-up for me. So I send a card, they get it, and then it says follow-up reminder, and then I set how many days, and then I follow up. And I love it because I have 100 of them, 100 different cards, and I pay, again, $10 a month. So I can run ads, full campaigns with them, with or without a lead capture. The good thing about it too is I have the ability to clone. So if I have somebody come into Chicks Connect and they do Shuffle, I can legit just send them the card and all they do is hit copy card and they put their link in and they're ready to go and they can go networking. So and the other product I do is called Pre-Built Marketing. Pre-Built Marketing is an AI content-based program where I can build posts with photos and content in about 3 minutes by doing that. And I can run a full 30-day run on that. So that really simplifies my life a lot. You know, talking about the notebook. So this is like my fourth one that I have. And this is where I get all my content is out of this notebook. Because I'll go to a webinar or I'll go to an event and gosh, there's some good nuggets in there. Every once in a blue moon, I'll go back and look at like my very first one and there is so much good information in there. It's amazing. So just always keep your notes, keep your documents, but be organized at the same time because it is about streamlining.
So if you would you post in our event, would you post links or the best, or just tell us the best way if someone's looking to do the mobile business card or someone's looking to do that pre-built marketing, if you could put those links or a way to connect with you. What is the best way to connect with you?
Business card and put all that in there.
Oh, perfect.
And do that. That's perfect. Yeah, I never even thought about doing that. Thank you, Julie.
Yes.
So, because I have like individual ones. But yeah, I mean, it's really hard being an entrepreneur sometimes. It gets lonely, you know? But I think if you have your core values aligned with who you are, I think it'll really make your life a lot simpler as an entrepreneur. because it's hard out there. But if you have a solid, you know what those are, and you have to write them down. You'll have to look at them every once in a while. But as you get going, you're like, shoot, I know that aligns right with that core value, because you already know what they are. It's amazing how it just kind of clicks after a while. You know,
Right.
like when you were a kid in school, you're wondering why you're learning something, and then you're like, oh my God, I do need to know percentages so I can know what I'm getting off when I'm at the grocery store.
That's right. How does it apply? How does it apply?
Yeah.
Right. Right. Well, so what's the best way that people can get in touch with you and follow you on these social media platforms? Give us some information.
Okay. My name is Ann Severs, so you can find me on Facebook at Ann Severs. And you can also post in the Chicks Member Only group, and we can connect in there, and then we can become friends that way. Just reach out to me. My email is annsevers@gmail.com. So that's another way to get a hold of me. But just reach out to me via Messenger. I do find that dark hole on there sometimes when people aren't your friend. I can find it. Takes me a few minutes sometimes, but yeah, so Messenger, Facebook, and Julie knows how to get a hold of me too. Right,
right. So are there any other things that you want us to know or you want to share with us before we open it up for questions?
Just stay true to who you are and follow your core values. I think that's the best advice I could give any entrepreneur, is just stick to your core values and stay true to yourself. Because if you know what your core values are, you will be true to yourself.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Ann. And let's open it up to any questions that you have regarding your core values. Or I'd love this. If any of you already have your core values laid out, I'd like to know what they are. I can start because I think I have them memorized for Chicks Connect. So,
yeah.
And I did just do a value session with a coach to find my personal values. But like Ann said, there's a difference sometimes between our business core values and our personal core values. But my business with Chicks Connect, we have action, accountability, love, fun, friendship, service, and support. And so all of those, and I could probably drill those down like she mentioned, but those things I find are really kind of the why I created Chicks Connect. And when I go back to, is this in alignment? Sometimes I have to go to the core values to say, why am I doing this on a real tough day, or on a day maybe where we've lost some members and haven't had new members join? I'll go back to, why did I create this? And then I look at those core values and I'm like, I created this because I wanted women to show love and support to one another. I created this because there were many women that I knew that were lonely, like you mentioned, lonely entrepreneurs, right? I created this because I was tired of hearing people talk about their dreams and not taking action toward achieving those dreams. And so I made action the first core value. And we can take massive action or not, right? And we find it a lot easier to take massive action when we have accountability. Well, how do we get that? When two people or more connect, right? And so those pieces were so key and integral. Like you're talking about, these core values are so important to a business. And it just helps me remember, why is it that I'm doing this? And there are a lot of other things underlying that. But why is it that you're doing what it is you're doing in your business? Why is it that you're wanting to share this information, this content with other people? So we have a little chat box down here that you can either click in and say, I have something to say, or if you can't find that chat box, just unmute yourself and share your core values with us, or ask Ann a question.
I was just thinking when you talked about like reflecting, like losing members and all that, we all have those days. And every time that I have that conversation with myself, my core values also pop up, but even something more amazing happens. I got a new client, like almost immediately every time. And I just said to my husband last week, I go, maybe I should just maybe get a part-time job. Maybe. He goes, oh, just keep on saying that, honey, because we'll get a new client.
Isn't that funny when we start thinking? Yeah, we start doubting or thinking. So Dr. Robin says education, freedom, and independence. Love it. Greta says happiness, excitement, learning. One door closes, another one opens. Right, right. And it's so funny because when I read other people's core values, I'm like, oh, I need to add that one. But freedom is definitely in my personal core values. That was one that was really really top of mind. And it seems like a lot of F words like faith and freedom and family. Those come up a lot for me in the personal realm.
Yeah, I printed a really good like just sheet, and it's got some really good words in here. Freedom's one of them, by the way. And Robin, I love that you do education was one of yours, because that is a sign of growth all the time. Education, I know, is probably one of, and the background, one of Julie's as well. Right. It's only natural, I think, but we're here to learn we learn every day. We learn something every week in Chicks. We learn something all the time from it, from us doing these Zoom calls. And education is another word for growth, in my opinion. I think I'm a full-time student. Maybe that's my job.
That's right.
Lifetime student.
Lifetime. Well, that was a big buzzword when I was doing the teaching and education. It was lifelong learner. They all, in every mission statement, lifelong learner was in there. Nancy, do you need to unmute, hon? It looks like you're trying to say. I think you're still muted.
Yep. Click on your button, your name with the box, and you can unmute it.
Or I'll do it for you.
There
you go.
Doing the wrong one. I was talking to myself.
Oh. That's great. That's great. Okay. Any questions or other comments? And look who's on here. Here's Allie. Allie's on here. She's the one that did the core values with me just last week. Do you want to unmute, Allie, and say hello? Or do you have any questions for Anne? She might be. Sometimes people can't unmute when they're in listen-only mode. All right. So, Anne, anything else that you want to share with us? I don't see any questions as of right now.
No, not that I could think of. Like I said, I did find like one worksheet that I thought was pretty good yesterday that I can post in the group. And it just kind of makes you dig a little deeper. I just encourage you to dig deep and maybe spend a little bit of time on this exercise, because once it's done, it's done. You can do a little tweaking on the way. But once you do the exercise, things really start you could put the pieces of the puzzle into place, I feel.
You know, I've heard people, it's kind of a trend, especially on social media, right around the first of the year, people pick a word for the year. Have you ever heard of that? Where they pick
my word this year was streamline.
Streamline, right. So people picking a word. So I wonder how often their word aligns with their core values, if it's one of those, because that word might resonate with them. I was just kind of curious about that, because if you come up, let's say, with 6 core values, and then you focus on those core values while you're creating content, that would cover 2 months. So if integrity or maybe you rotate them, but if integrity is one of my core values, I might be searching the internet for memes about integrity, or articles on integrity, or examples of integrity, and posting those, because all that becomes content, right, Anne?
Yes. Yeah, matter of fact, and then also the YouTube, that's another good thing. Like I'm in the middle of watching one right now on core values. So again, I'm going to go and watch this video. I haven't posted it yet or shared it yet. It's 15-minute one. I'm halfway through it, but I like the man's story, but it all goes back to my core values. Make sure you watch it. And there's some great, and pull content out of that. You could have had a meeting last night or a one-on-one, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna make a great video. I do that all the time. Sometimes I got sparkly disease, but I am learning that in now.
Well, and I set an intention at the last speaker, that I would start doing stories. Now, do you do stories, Anne?
Are you talking Instagram stories?
I'm talking Facebook stories.
I don't, those are annoying to me. Because if you go to if Robin puts a story on her page and I go to Messenger, I have to watch her whole story before I can send you a message.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm like, to me, that's not transparent. I don't know. It's not transparent. It's borderline. To me, it's annoying.
To you, it's annoying. Do you mind if do you mind if I take your picture though? Because I made a commitment that, and part of my thing is consistency and following my word, that I would post all the leaders in my stories.
Sure.
Okay. It'll disappear after 24 hours from what I understand. But my,
so I will not message you for 24 hours.
Yeah. My goal is that I would become, well, I guess probably I'll start annoying you because I'm going to give it a try. I'm one of those where I like throw stuff out and I try it and I see if it works. So I might be annoying for a little bit. Well,
just 24 hours.
Okay, just 24 hours. Okay, so what you do is you hit the selfie, you turn it around, and there you are. So everybody say 1, 2, 3, smile at me. Yay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, cute. Okay, and then I can put little hearts and I can move them. Oh, that's cute. Okay, so share to story. All right, so that is how you do it, I guess. I've done it. I've done 2 now. Oh, do you see it?
You already post it?
I did, yes. Do you see it?
Well, did you post on our Jules Muir?
No, Julie Muller, my Julie Muller account.
It's not on there yet.
Okay, so we'll see if it shows up. But I did one of Crystal this morning, and then one of you. So I'm gonna my goal is to do one of each.
My goal is to be more with doing the LinkedIn videos. That's my next, is start really working LinkedIn. That's, that every lead on LinkedIn is worth $55.
That's great. Well, we have Kaida this afternoon is going to talk to us about LinkedIn. I think she's our only LinkedIn speaker today. So, so I had my LinkedIn profile evaluated, I guess, years ago, but not lately. So maybe that's also a goal for all of us to go in and update, because I'm sure that we all have different experiences and jobs and things that we could update on our profiles.
Yeah, that one worksheet you posted about 2 weeks ago about the different, cleaning up the different social media. I think that's a great thing. I personally would like to make that a goal with our Chicks group, just to maybe cross some of those T's and dot some of those I's before the end of the year. And so we can roll out January 2020. And Dr. Robin, we have got to interview together, my friend.
Awesome. Well, I want to open it up one last time for any questions or comments. You can use the chat box or you can just unmute yourself. All righty. Well, Anne, thank you so much for your time this morning, for really talking to us. Greta says thank you as well. And so for those of you that are watching live, thank you for taking the time to be with us today. And thank you for your expertise and your reminder that really these core values are so important in all aspects of our life, not only in social media. And for those of you that want to know more about Chicks Connect and our Mastermind Support Network, please visit chicksconnect.com. It's ChicksConnect.com. We would love to welcome you. And if you have an area of expertise that may fit our next online summit, which I'm not quite sure what it'll be yet. I think it might be a health and wellness summit. I'm feeling that that's percolating. The members of our organization are the ones that put on these great summits. So we're going to start doing more of these as long as this is a format that we all enjoy and love. And we'll try to do quite a few of these throughout the year. So again, I'm Jules Muller, founder and CEO of Chicks Connect. And Anne, thank you so much. Mwah.
Thank you. Thank you, my fellow chicks. You guys are all amazing. Have a great day.